Identified his residence, and our officers conducted a search at his apartment in Kino. Unfortunately, he was not in his apartment, but we managed to conduct a search, and we were able to recover an assortment of electronic gadgets that we believe would be useful to us in our investigations.
The mystery surrounding the disappearance of IT guru and online influencer Ndiangui has sent shockwaves across the country. Taken from his home by individuals identified as DCI detectives, Kinyagia has not been seen or heard from since. Days have passed. The silence is deafening. The government, already facing heat over a rising trend of abductions and enforced disappearance, now finds itself in yet another storm.
Killings. We will not come here to listen to your stories. You have abducted someone, his family is crying, and you are here telling us stories. Enough is enough. Extrajudicial killings and disappearances must end now. We must stop this madness. We must stop this evil things.
Kinyagia's name has been floating on social media timelines for days. Known for his sharp, sometimes confrontational digital activism, he quickly became a household name, especially among the youth. But it is his recent involvement in the explosive June 25th anti-government protest that appears to have made him a target. That protest rattled the highest office in the land. Young people took to the streets. Placards, chants and anger poured out across Nairobi and other towns. Somewhere in the middle of it all was Kinyagia, posting, tweeting and amplifying dissent. Then, in the dead of the night, he vanished. Witnesses say plainclothes officers stormed his residence, confiscated devices and dragged him into an unmarked vehicle. Since then, nothing, no official booking, no court appearance, not even a phone call to his family, just a chilling void. Under pressure, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation held a press conference. The DCI boss, Mohamed Amin, denied holding Kinyagia in their custody. This despite multiple confirmations that officers from his agency had picked him up. The contradiction is not just confusing, it is terrifying. The state admits he was taken, but no one is willing to admit where he is or why he hasn't resurfaced.
We identified his residence, and our officers conducted a search at his apartment in Kino. Unfortunately, he was not in his apartment, but we managed to conduct a search, and we were able to recover an assortment of electronic gadgets that we believe would be useful to us in our investigations. So mine is to confirm to Kenyans that Ndiangui is not under the custody of the National Police Service. He is a person of interest to us, and wherever he is, I will urge that he submits himself and that he surrenders to the nearest police station.
This forced the judiciary to step in. Justice Chacha Mwita, angered by the lack of transparency, issued a bold directive. The DCI and the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja were ordered to produce Ndiangui in court, alive or dead. The judge did not mince his words. He made it clear that no amount of bureaucracy or sideshows will shield those responsible from accountability. The court wants answers, the public wants answers, and the clock is ticking.
All we want is this Kenyan.
Your Lordship, the amount of
Where
time...
is he? Nothing more. We are not interested in drama, we are not interested in anything. There is a human being missing. So, where is he? Is he alive or dead? Just that.
Meanwhile, the government continues to sidestep growing concerns. President William Ruto is under intense scrutiny as cases of enforced disappearances increase. Civil society groups, opposition leaders, and youth collectives have accused the administration of ruling through intimidation and fear. If Ndiangui's disappearance is not addressed quickly, it could deepen the already growing distrust in state institutions.
You lied under oath on the floor of the Senate. So why should the Kenyans believe you anymore when it comes to matters criminal investigation? Mbona Wakenya waamini?
The DCI claims that Kinyagia is a person of interest. According to them, he allegedly published sensitive information related to the possible removal of the president from office. Accusations are murky. No formal charges have been filed. There is no documentation to support their claims, just vague references to national security and cyber offenses. Yet, that is not enough to justify a disappearance without due process. Prominent figures have now joined the legal battle. Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Wino and former Justice Minister Martha Karua are leading the legal charge on behalf of Kinyagia. Their involvement suggests this case is not just about one man, it's about the shrinking space for dissent in Kenya.
So he will deny publicly, but he will not come to assist the court.
There is no evidence that have been produced in this court, Your Lordship, that indeed the second petitioner was picked by my clients.
Kinyagia's disappearance feels like a warning shot, a signal to others who dare to speak out, and that's what makes this case different. It's not just a human rights issue, it's a political statement, a statement that says we can come for anyone.
The architects of our constitution sought to address a historical concern, and the survivors of the Nyayo regime, my lord, endured a very brutal police force that held them incommunicado without trial. And even during that time, my lord, in the case of
there is fear in the air among influencers, journalists, activists, and even average Kenyans. If a tech-savvy young man can vanish for speaking his mind, who's next? The state's refusal to admit custody raises serious questions. Are shadowy forces operating under the protection of official uniforms? Is the DCI speaking the truth, or is there a deeper, darker layer to this?
It's not right to abduct someone and not present them to court. And you are here telling us stories about... Let me speak, I will sit down. This is not right.
As the court date approaches and public pressure mounts, one thing remains clear. This is no longer about whether Ndiangui Kinyagia is guilty of anything. This is now about whether Kenya still respects the rule of law, or whether it's sliding into the dark corners of authoritarianism, where power answers no one and truth gets buried in silence. Dead or alive, the country is watching and waiting.
You may speak all the English, but there is an individual whose life and liberty is at stake at the end of the day. And that should be the primary concern of all the parties and the law.